I'm Cece Summers. Welcome to You Kill Me Every Time, Strade. The game where he kills me. Every time. Okay, last time we had Ren with us, we stabbed him. Let's be real. We stabbed him. Right in his little chest. And, died. Either time, whether we stabbed him or not. So, I guess we can try being nice to the fox. I don't feel as bad being nice to Ren in this game, because in this game he's still just a little guy. Ask me later, like in Price of Flesh, if I would stab him, and the answer is an emphatic yes. All right, let's just jump in with the hard questions. What are you? I'm Beastkin, and yes, the ears and tail are real. You really have more important shit to be worried about. I mean, yes, but if you're gonna show up in a basement dressed like this, I'm gonna ask you what's going on. I watched his ears and tail move in the darkness. I must be dreaming. My name is Ren. I opened my mouth to reply, but he quickly cut me off. And you're Cece, I know. He talks about you. Yeah, I know he does. So what happens if he finds out you're down here? That better not be a threat. It's not a threat. Because, you know, he'd fuck us both up. Me? Why would he fuck me up? When I told him that he was down here, like when I told him before that Ren was down here, he didn't fuck me up. He was just like, oh, well, isn't that interesting? And then he just fucked off and did his own thing, so. Something in his tone made it clear that he was not exaggerating in the slightest. Yes, I see your collar. But why even come down here? If you know you can't help me and it's this big risk, why? It's been months since I've been able to talk to anyone else. I see. I tried to calm the storm in my head. Okay. Thank you for coming down, I guess. Stay alive, Cece. Well, trying my best. It is not working so far. As long as you can. Well, you're not saying that for selfless reasons. You're saying that so it doesn't torture you, but whatever. I really have to go now. He turned and left, moving deftly to the stairs. Okay. Well, we're gonna go to the next night and see if he comes back and offers me pills. And then we'll, you know, not stab him. So I'm going through so that I can get to the next night, right? So I can see Ren. We're at the table. He asked me, do you know what this is? If I call it a hobby table, can we make crafts instead? I felt him slap the back of my head playfully. And then we just get back into it, and he keeps trying to push my head into the saw, but I thought it was funny. Fuck. Okay, so I guess I asked him his name. And then, are you like me then? And then, I don't know. I guess maybe this one, because he wanted to talk to me or whatever. Okay, and then he offers the pill. Okay, cool. Okay, none of it matters. We're not gonna stab him. We're just gonna take the medicine and hope that he lets us go. I leaned forward and he pushed the pill between my lips. It was difficult to swallow with my dry mouth, but I eventually managed. He put the bottle in Great back. If you're alone, you can get it with your feet. It's not easy, but it's not like you'll have anything else to do. And one last thing. The night footage gets deleted automatically after a couple of days. He won't find out if you don't give him a reason to check. So don't give him a reason to check. You got it. Anyway, I have to go. Okay. And then I'll ask if he'll be okay. All right, and then we'll see if something else good happens. Did he not come back? Can I reach the grate? Oh, I can reach the grate. I looked at the drain on the floor. I stretched my foot out and tried to push the grate off. It took several tries, but eventually I was able to push the grate aside. I tried to dip my toes inside the drain, but nothing stuck out enough for me to grab it. How did Ren ever get that bottle out of here? Because he's got fucking little claw toes. He's got just little, like, you know? I tried to bite back tears and failed. Fuck. I don't know what I expected to do with my arms tied like this anyway. I pushed the grate back over the top of the drain. I guess rest is my only option. All right, well. Oh, and he never came back. Cool. Thanks, Ren. So I was thinking. We can. Okay. So. Okay, so we can hide stuff in the drain. I didn't even think about that. So maybe we can, like, hide the knife and see if something happens with that. I don't know when we'd be able to use it, though, except the next night, but we're missing fingers at that point. So would it matter? But maybe he won't be standing at the fucking top of the stairs like an asshole next time we go up there. Guess we'll fucking see. However, before we do that, I feel like there's going to be an ending if we just keep taking more and more and more and more pills. So I withdrew the bottle of painkillers that Ren showed me earlier. It was hard to read the label in the dark, but I eventually made out the words extra strength. It says I should only take one. Sorry, Dr. Foxears, I have stab wounds. Are we sure we haven't unlocked Meme Lord mode yet? Ibuprofen for breakfast. Take more pills. I shook another pill into my hand and popped it in my mouth. I swallowed it and closed the pill bottle. It should be fine. I put the grate back. Okay, so now let's stash the knife. I can't exactly get to it quickly in here, but at least Strade is never going to find it. I put the grate back over the drain. Okay, so now we will go to sleep and see what happens. Uh-oh. I relaxed as the pain of my injuries died down, but a few minutes later I started feeling sick to my stomach. I squirmed uncomfortably. I should have listened to the label. Uh-oh. Are we gonna die because we took too many pain pills? Or is it just that our sanity didn't go up as much as it could have? I don't know. Alright, it's the next night. We're gonna see if we can get the knife out. The only thing I could reach was the hilt of the knife. I bit my lip and pushed it against the edge of the drain. I used all of my will to prevent myself from shaking as the knife slowly emerged from the drain. With a small clatter and my heart pounding in my ears, the knife slid out onto the floor. Okay. It's out. I just need to get it over to my hands. I pulled the knife towards my thighs easily. I breathed and took a moment to bask in my partial success. Then I started shuffling, moving my butt to try to get the knife closer to the pole. I started aching and sweating, but I wasn't about to give up. Bit by bit, the knife got closer to my hands, until finally, with a rush of excitement, my fingers grazed the side of the blade. I quickly shuffled and grasped the knife, then held it against my tape. It was clumsy, and my skin didn't escape totally wound-free, but eventually, the tape was severed. I pulled my wounded hand in close to my chest. Seeing my 2 finger stumps wrapped in clean bandages tempered my excitement, but I knew I had work to do. So, with some effort, I shakily stood up. I crossed the floor over to the drain. Then I pushed the grate back over. I have to make these count. Okay, so do we rest or do we go back up the stairs? I don't think we can go up the stairs. Oh shit, we can go up the stairs now. Okay. I placed my foot on the first stair carefully. Then, with a little more courage, I began to climb. A creak in the wood instantly froze my body. I waited in the dark, half expecting my world to end. but a long snore from the other side of the basement assured me I'm still safe, for now. I kept climbing, so slowly and carefully I could swear half an hour passed. Then I reached the heavy door. Another snore told me in no uncertain terms he wasn't on the other side. Right, because he's in the basement with us. I twisted the handle and pushed. Then my heart sank. It's locked. Locked from the other side. I twisted the knob and tested the door every way I could, but it was no use. There was the lock on my side, but I didn't see how that would do me any good. I pushed my rising panic back down. I have to do something. Why would I lock it on this side? I mean, we can knock. It's gonna wake up Strade, but we can see. I have to risk it. I tapped on the door, gingerly at first. Ren? I was practically hissing into the door crack. Nothing. Nothing but the ever-present snoring. I knocked again, louder. Ren, please. I pressed my ear against the door and waited for a reply. All I could hear was my own blood pounding in my ears. Ren! I banged on the door, desperation guiding my muscles and lacing through my voice. Ren! My voice echoed through the basement. My blood ran cold. The snoring stopped. Yeah, what did you think was going to happen? The click of a door below became footsteps. I was out of options now. I slammed on the door, even with my mangled hand. Ren, he's gonna kill me! A creak on the stairs behind me. Please, God, please just open the door! Slow and steady thumping. I screamed wordlessly at the door, at Ren, and heavy hands landed on my shoulders. I wailed as I was dragged back down the stairs. We had a knife! We should have turned around, kicked his ass down the stairs, and stabbed him at the bottom. I screamed for what this meant, the careless bruising of my battered body barely registering. He pulled me back down into the dark, into the nightmare, and deposited me into that same damned spot, right next to that fucking pole. I didn't have the strength to fight anymore, and I knew, in my current state, I didn't stand a chance against him anyway. I stared at the floor listlessly as he rummaged in his cabinets. Soon he returned to me with duct tape, a handful of other items, and a jug of liquid. Is he gonna light me on fire? He lifted my wrists and taped them together in front of me. No pole this time. He pulled out more tape, bent down, and taped around my thighs and calves, binding me in a forced kneeling position. Even with all this, it was his silence that bothered me most. He's never been so quiet before. Strade? From his small collection of objects, he pulled out a cigar. The silence stretched wider and wider as he used a knife to cut the tip. Strade. Hey, come on. Then, right before he seemed to be about to light it, he stopped. And he set the cigar down. So, the words spread through the silence like a crack on dark glass. I really loved our time together. I feel like I really got to know you. I pulled at the tape, finding no give at all. And I want you to know I'll never forget you. Fear coursed through my body like shockwaves. None of his threats or cruel jokes ever felt like this. This was a goodbye. But don't worry. He approached me with a collar. No, it was a gag. He's gonna light me on fire and do this horrific shit? Awesome! I'm gonna make our last time really special. I'm sure you are. He pulled it around my head, forcing the metal ring between my jaws, and fastened it. My mouth was pried wide open. He picked up the jug. He's gonna make me swallow this. He's gonna make me swallow the gasoline. I tried to protest, but of course all I could manage was While my participation seemed to please him, it didn't stop him. He twisted the cap from the jug and tilted it over me. I ducked as liquid oozed over my head. No, come on. Don't be like that. He stepped behind me and gripped the back of the ring gag. He pulled down, forcing me to look straight up. And then he poured again, this time into my open mouth. Yep. I coughed and gagged on the thick, slippery liquid. It poured from my mouth all over my body, coating my torso, arms, and legs. Finally, he released my head and I curled forward, retching, as the contents of my mouth spilled into my lap. With the way it tasted and smelled, and the way it coated my body, I could pretty safely assume what it was. Oil. I didn't know when I started crying, but I could taste my tears mixed in with it. I barely managed to catch my breath. But he was already... Yep. He did both. Of course he did both. Of course he did both bad things. It's silly of me to assume he would have done one or the other. Oh! 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 Yep, that is there on my screen. Yep, that, Oh, and it's back! Oh, it's back! Ew! No, okay. I curled in on myself as small as my forced kneeling position would allow. He let out a long, contented sigh and turned back to me, cigar once again in hand. Perfect. Fuck off. A flick of a lighter. You were absolutely fuck off. The end of his cigar glowed with the promise of hell. He blew an eye-watering cloud over my whimpering face. I knew by now that screaming and begging were useless, even without this gag.
Schön mit uns beiden.
Means was nice with both of us. Yeah, well, fuck off again. In one smooth, ceremonial motion, he pressed the burning end of his cigar to my exposed tongue. Fuck you! I cried out around it as it burned my tongue. And then tendrils of flame erupted from my mouth, snaking over my body, carried by the oil. For one dazzling moment, the world was all warmth and dancing light. Then, it was pain. I screamed in earnest as my skin began to burn. Flame and agony consumed my body, and I screamed until I couldn't. The last thing I saw was him watching me, breathing in the smoke from my body and his cigar. Watching me burn. My flesh burned long after my eyes stopped seeing, until finally, mercifully, my world went dark. Again, I don't know why I expected one or the other. I don't know why I thought, if he's going to do one thing, he's not going to do the other thing. Of course he was going to do both things. It's Strade. Okay, so that's not going to work. So I want to see what happens if we lock the door. I don't know what it matters, but it's an option and we're going to do it. I grasped the sliding lock and pulled it carefully into place. I knew Strade was sleeping down here, but for some reason it made me feel a little better. Like I had some tiny bit of control. I nodded at the door, greedily accepting my tiny symbol of agency. Then I slowly descended back down the staircase, carefully avoiding the creaky spots. Once my foot touched concrete, the familiar despair crept back in. I made my way over to the metal pole. It was a symbol of death and suffering, unimaginable cruelty. I reached out and touched it, but it was just a pole. Just metal, just an object, just silence. I leaned against it and sighed. Okay. So maybe with the door locked, maybe he'll try to run away and then he can't because it's locked and then we can like, get him? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what happens. I approached the door on my right. Another long snore emerged from within. He's definitely in there. I gingerly touched the knob. I have to do this. I twisted. But it was locked. My heart jumped in my throat. I battled the panic inside that threatened to reveal me and wake him. It's locked. It's fucking locked. There's nothing I can do. I drag myself back to the middle of the basement. I let despair calm my body and quiet my mind. There's nothing left that I can do. I look at the split tape near the pole on the floor. Well, I can't fix that. I curled up on the cold, hard ground. The rhythmic snoring began to quiet my mind. I let myself go numb. And eventually, I fell asleep. Okay, so he's gonna wake up and see that I'm out of my restraints on the ground with a knife, so that's cool for us. Good morning. Yeah, I tried to move my arms and found that I was bound to the central pole again. Yes, I noticed you were messing around a little down here. I took that knife, too. Seeing that made me feel a little bit curious. Still, you're not looking so good. But that's all right. Yeah, so he didn't even give a shit. He just was like, oh well, let me just put you on back in there and I'm gonna kill you anyway. There's a bag of zip ties. I wonder if we can do something with those. And then if we put them in the grate, I'm not gonna take another pill, but let's hide both of them in there and see if something happens. Okay, I have the knife and the zip ties, so I'm gonna go downstairs or upstairs and I'm gonna lock this door. It has to be important, right? Like there has to be a reason why we can lock the door from this side other than just for shiggles. I'm hoping. Otherwise, I just look like a damn idiot. My jaw clenched in frustration for a moment, but then I remembered the latch on the inside. I took a deep breath and slipped the blade of my knife through the crack of the door. Oh, okay. I understand what I should have done because I went into his room this time. Last time I didn't do that, but this time I was digging around everywhere and I went in his room. So I saw what kind of latch it was. So now I can open it with the knife. When before, I didn't know. I'm an idiot. Then I lifted, slowly, carefully. I felt the resistance of the latch and pushed it upwards. Then, once I was sure it was out of the lock, I twisted the knob and pulled. The door opened. And there he was, fast asleep on the couch. I stalked, silent as the grave, and stopped next to the couch, hovering over his sleeping form. Okay, we have come to a crossroads here. I feel like one is going to be stab him, take him out, get out. And the other is going to be put him on the pole. I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. So I'm just going to use the knife. I felt the reassuring weight of the knife in my good hand. This is it. This ends now. Oh, fuck. Kill him! I plunged the knife into his chest. An explosion of movement happened between us both, with him jolting awake and me jumping back. Darkness, confusion, and noise twisted around me until I was thrown on the floor. Ah! His angry scream became a cough. I was frozen in shock. He was supposed to die. I looked down at the hilt of the knife sticking out of him. His hands wrapped around my throat as I thrashed beneath him. Get off! He coughed again and blood spattered all over my face. I bucked against him and scratched at his arms. My severed finger stump slid uselessly off his bulging muscles. His hands snaked up from my neck to the sides of my head. I kicked, hitting his legs and groin, but even that didn't stop him. I gotta pull the knife out. He lurched and coughed more blood on me, but his hands stayed on my head. His thumbs found my eyes. I screamed as they pushed into my sockets, crushing my eyes. Pain exploded from my head, and I could no longer tell if the liquid covering my face was from him or me. I was screaming, and he was coughing and growling. Then in one swift motion, he twisted my head to the side. I felt the snap, then the crush of his body landing on top of mine. Then, I felt nothing at all. Zip ties it is! Alright, bitch, get zip tied. His wrists are right here. I looked at the ties I was carrying, suddenly as precious as diamonds. I just have to be fast. Then he won't be able to do anything. I mentally made a map of the quickest way to do it. I didn't want to move. I was scared to touch him. Another snore sent me the message I needed to hear. This opportunity won't last. I forced my body into action. I grabbed his wrists and held them together. I slipped a tie under his wrists and pushed the end through the hole with desperate precision. I pulled it tight, and his body jerked. I quickly wrapped another one around his wrists and pulled it tight while he was still waking up. Yeah, that's what I thought, you little bitch. Get ready to get freezer burnt. He immediately tried to pull his wrist apart. What? Fuck! Stop! No. His whole body suddenly thrashed.
Ich bring dich
It just means I'll kill you. Yeah, well, you wanting to kill me is why we're here in the first place, isn't it? I brandished the knife and held it to his throat. He recognized my threat, yet he still twitched, slicing himself slightly on the blade. I looked down to check if my ties still held strong, and I saw blood. He had pulled so hard he cut himself on the plastic. Okay, just... I will let you go. Oh, no. My good man, we are well past that point, sir. Now it's about whether I will let you go, and the answer is a resounding no. Cut the ties, and I'll let you go. His voice wavered. I expected him to be scared, but this was different. He kept jerking and twisting as if the ties were burning him. He suddenly arched his back and yelled like an animal. I'll let you go! I jabbed the knife back up to his neck. Shut up for a second. He was shaking and sweating. What? You can't handle a little taste of your own medicine? I flicked the knife under his chin, but he barely paid any attention. It was the ties that seemed to bother him. An incredulous scoff escapes me. You can't take being tied up. He clenched his jaw and his muscles jumped, injuring himself again on his bonds. It was as clear as a confession to me. He was never very good at hiding his feelings. I couldn't help but laugh. It was a strained sound. I can't believe it. What is this? What? Okay, we're gonna do the incredibly stupid thing first. I thought about hurting him, and part of me wanted to, but I just couldn't. I don't think I could do that to someone, not even him. I gripped the handle of the knife for comfort, for protection, but not for malice. All right, Strade, I'm gonna leave, and you're gonna lie here. Basement's locked. I huffed in frustration and tilted the knife again. I'm just telling you to take the keys on the table. My eyes flicked to the table by the couch. There was a set of keys, just as he said. There was also a weird little metal remote with a red light. Oh, that's, Ren's collar remote. I snatched both. Strade seemed to have calmed down slightly. You really won't kill me? His voice carried a mix of fear and incredulity. I looked back towards him, searching for something to say. It's been a real blast. Great last words. I walked out of the small, dark room and made my way up the staircase as quickly as my wounds would allow. I quickly unlocked the door on my side. Then I pulled out a key as he started yelling from behind me. At first, I didn't care, but then I realized what he was shouting. Ren! He was screaming the name over and over and thumping at a wall somehow. I jammed a key in the lock. Wrong. His screaming continued. Another one. Wrong. I started to hear other sounds in the house. Fuck! I finally managed to find a key that went into the lock and turned. The door swung open. What are you doing? Ren, he's tied up. We can get out of here. What? Really? He looked to the side, flicking his focus to the hallway. My collar. Ren! He's tied up. He can't do anything. Don't let Cece get out. Ren, you don't have to listen to him. We can both get out of here. I'm sorry. The red light on his collar caught my eye. I pulled out the remote and flicked the switch on it. Seeing the remote snapped whatever composure Ren had left. Oh no! I wasn't fast enough! Fuck! His clawed hand slammed into my chest. God damn it, I wasn't fast enough. I could see, but I couldn't breathe. My lungs refused to allow any air to enter. I tried to lift my head. The pain hit me like a devastating shockwave. I couldn't tell if I had broken anything or not. My lungs finally permitted a broken and shuddering inhale. I finally had the air to sob. Then I heard 2 sets of footsteps approaching me. Good job, Ren. I could hear him rummaging through the cabinets. Are you going to kill Cece? Yeah. Yes, he is. Yeah, he's gonna burn me. Yes, Ren, I'm going to kill Cece. Yeah, and my heart's black now. He big mad. Please, don't... Are you sure you want to finish that sentence? I heard Ren shuffling towards the base of the staircase. You're not going anywhere. I heard Ren freeze. I wonder how Cece got those ties and that knife. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you, Ren? You can stay right here, and you can watch. Well, at least we know that there is no getting out of this situation, and we are going to die, according to the achievement. Please, Strade, I'm sorry. I was just scared. I wasn't going to kill you. I would never. That's enough from you. I didn't even kill him, you little shit. And he's gonna do that in front of Ren? Ugh. Fucking Ren. Okay, we need to be faster this time. He's tied up. We can get out of here. I can't go fast enough. That's not fair. That's not fucking fair. How am I supposed to do that? It's so fast. Okay, maybe. Okay, I have a feeling that we're just not allowed to win this. Can I do it with a... Oh, never mind. I just wasn't good enough. It's fine, I'm dumb. I slammed the button and Ren immediately froze in place. I didn't wait. I pushed him to the side and ran in the direction he looked before. I ran through a hallway to a door and pulled it open. I saw the night sky. I heard a groan of pain behind me. After a short moment of consideration, I threw the remote back into the house towards Ren. Then I ran outside. Clean hands. Survive with clean hands. You lived and your hands are clean. Look at that. We didn't kill anybody. And we gave Ren the tools to get out as well. Look at us. He goes and eats his heart out and then becomes a bad man, but we lived. All right, this time we're gonna interrogate him. I think you can answer a couple of my questions now. How do I get out? There's a set of keys on the table. I flicked my gaze to the table and saw he hadn't lied. Okay. I need to know a couple other things, too. Why do you do all of this? Haven't you asked that already? Everyone keeps asking why. Answer. Why do people watch movies? Why do they go to theme parks? I want to feel the extremes of life over and over. No, you don't. You want to watch other people go through the extremes of life. But when you get put in this situation, you crack like a little baby. I want to feel the agony and terror. When you're about to die, I want to feel that too. I'm the one feeling it. Exactly my point, Cece. Thank you. But I can feel it too. When I look at you, I can feel everything. I hissed in frustration. Why are you like this? I paused and caught my breath. Why are you like this? Did something happen to you? Happen? Life is exciting, that's what happened. No. Did something hurt you? Or did something change you? I wasn't really sure what I was trying to ask anymore. Are you asking if I had a tragic past that turned me into a monster? Ha! No. I had a lovely childhood. I am who I am. That's all. I gripped the knife so tightly my knuckles turned white. You're about to cry. I clenched my teeth and forced myself not to cry. This isn't getting me anywhere. I shoved the knife against him to reassert our positions. Okay. Well, guess we gotta kill him. Oh man, oh no. Aw, shucks. I think I understand you now. And I think you and I both know this is the only option. I plunged the knife into his chest. I watched his body tense against the bonds and his jaw widen in a silent scream. He finally stopped pulling at the ties and stared at me. He moved his mouth. I instinctively leaned forward. No, he's gonna bite our ear off. He seemed like he was trying to talk. But all I heard was a rasping wheeze. I couldn't seem to move. I just watched him. He wasn't moving anymore either. We were frozen in this moment together like a photograph. Until a thought dripped into my mind. I'm not here with him. I'm not here with anybody. This is a dead body. The realization shook my body free from its stasis. I stepped back once, twice. I snatched the keys on the table. There was also a little weird metal remote with a red light. I decided to grab it too, for good measure. It had a switch, a button, and what looked like a scroll wheel. Flicking the switch lit up the tiny display and showed a number. 4.3. I moved the wheel and the number changed. It went up to 10. My finger hovered over the button. Then I thought better of it and turned the switch off. I'm getting distracted. I need to get the fuck out of here. I fled the dark room and hobbled up the staircase as quickly as my injuries would allow. I fumbled with the keys for a moment before calming myself down. He's not coming back. I tried a few keys until one fit the lock and turned. I stepped into a dark house. Like any other middle-class suburban house. Even the decor was painfully average. Something about that upset me. But I pushed it down and moved forward. I easily found the unguarded door. I thought for a moment about Ren. I sighed and pushed the door open. Ren can take care of himself now. I stepped outside into the night and felt a breeze on my face. I walked down the road, injured and in my underwear. Eventually the sun stained the sky red. A passing motorist saw me and stopped. They took me to a gas station. I was going home. Survive with bloody hands. Yeah, well, he got what he fucking deserved. So I wonder what happens if we don't lock the door from this side. Like, Strade goes and calls for Ren, right? Maybe when the door is unlocked, he calls for Ren before, and then Ren comes down and sees Strade all tied up and then helps us escape. I just want to see if something happens, because there has to be a significance for locking the door, right? Right. Okay, so the door is not locked. I want to see what happens if we just use the knife, if there's something different, and then use the zip ties and see if something's different, and then just go from there, I guess. Nope. Oh, you know what? I don't know what happens if we use the knife and then we just let the bar run out. I mean, we're going to die. We know that's going to happen, but I'm wondering if it's another ending or achievement, or is it just, you dumb bitch, you should have just stabbed him. I stood there, knife dangling over his snoring body. My hands shook. Why? Why, after everything, can't I? The snoring stopped. His eyes were open. His hand shot out and grabbed my wrist. I gasped as the knife clattered to the floor. Wait, no, I wasn't. No, you weren't. His voice was sluggish, like he was still waking up. He slowly stood up, holding my wrist the entire time. I winced as his grip got tighter and tighter. Strade, please. How did you slip out of that tape? My mouth was too dry to speak. He looked at the knife on the floor and back to me. I guess it's too risky to keep you. No, wait! Is he gonna light me on fire again? Yeah. He's just gonna light me on fire again. It really was just a you dumb bitch, you should have killed him moment. Alright, I'm gonna use the zip ties. Okay, so this is different. So he's screaming for Ren. Okay, but it still didn't matter. Nope. They didn't do anything. So I feel like that other thing is to put our sanity down as low as we can without going crazy. So then when we go in to do the zip tie stuff, you know, there was that locked option, and I'm thinking that's probably what it is that we go a little crazy pants and do some things we probably shouldn't. So new things are happening. So I was trying to keep my sanity down low enough to then when we get to the final night, I can see if that unlocks the little thingy. But I think I also focused on his affection too much, so I went a little crazy. So I got the bleeding heart, and I was like, oh no, hit the tab button so I could just fast forward through it and try again, and it didn't do it because new things are happening. So I just told him that my knee hurts because he drilled a fucking hole into it. It does look very sensitive. He chewed his lip for a moment as if he was wrestling with some concept in his head. With all the tortures I'd endured, somehow his hesitation struck me and twisted my insides. I just wanted him to move, for him to lay his hands on me again. I leaned towards him, caught in some magnetic pull. I imagined him touching me, holding me. He reached out a hand to my face, and I immediately melted into it. Then he pulled it away. My breath seemed to follow, pulled out of my mouth and away, leaving me empty. His teeth flashed. He saw right through me, through my skin, my blood, bones, to the desperation holding me together. You want more? I trembled, not fully wanting to admit what I felt, but I couldn't lie. I nodded at him. Show me. I could feel my cheeks getting hotter. What did he expect me to say, to do? Before I could think better of it, I let my knees fall to the side. Yikes. Basically, we just let our knees go like that. It's not looking good for us, chat. My display had an obvious effect on him. He stood back and looked down at me. Then he dragged a boot slowly across the floor, as if he was daring me to shut them, to stop him. But I didn't. The jagged tread of his sole finally pressed between my thighs. You're blushing? His voice had that manic edge that I'd heard before. Something deep inside me was trying to warn me about that sound. He put pressure behind his foot, and those thoughts were squeezed from my mind. I whined under the pressure, wondering through euphoria if he could feel my heat through his boot. Ew! As it had so many times before, pleasure bled into pain. He ground his foot into me as I began to squirm. You want it, don't you? No! You want me to hurt you? No! The heel of his boot was crushing me with bruising force. I opened my mouth to answer him, but all that came out was a strained moan. Did I break you? Unfortunately. With the pain welling up and mixing with my desire, something started to click for me. I remembered every time he hurt me, always bringing me and himself right to the edge. Pain, pleasure, reason. He kept pushing me closer and closer to a fire. I opened my eyes and finally saw the dancing flames in his head. Please. My voice froze him. I wasn't begging for mercy this time. Hurt me, do bad things, tear me apart. The request fell out of me with no pride left to hold them back. He stared down at me as he processed my plea. And the next moment he was over me, surrounding me. He dragged my limp and willing body across the floor until I was flat on my back. My body jerked in response to the burning sting. He cut our clothing off and he slashed our body with a knife when he did it. Yikes. Okay, there's context, there's subcontext going on, so I'm gonna try to read it as best I can around the not safe for YouTube things that are happening. So, okay. There was something about the way he looked at me. He seemed focused on something else. Something like triumph. I wondered if his triumph was the conquest of his victim on his cold basement floor. No, his triumph was something else. His fingers slid over my chest. He was looking at me like he destroyed something magnificent. His palms settled on my neck. Destruction is too simple. His fingers tightened around me. He was looking at me like he'd built something magnificent. My panting abruptly stopped as my throat closed between his hands. The fire in my lungs seemed to spread through my limbs, to every stitched cut, bruise, and missing chunk of flesh. It was ecstasy. Once you stare into the sun long enough, you can't see anything else. I shared in his addiction now, his ravenous hunger for light and life. I opened my eyes and body. What just happened? What? Why did our bars get replaced? I don't... Oh no. You died. You loved him too much. That wasn't great. Okay, I'm gonna try again, and this time I'm not going to lean into the crazy pants stuff. I'm gonna try my best to not lean into the crazy pants stuff too much, so I can still keep my sanity down, right? But I don't know. See, maybe if I go back to where I was with all of that, and then instead of just completely cracking, I just kind of let it ride and then see if that has an effect on this. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. I got something new while I was finagling. I still can't figure out the other shit. I will figure it out. I just can't do it right at the moment. I'm not even sure if what I'm trying to look for is I don't even know. Like, it has to be that it's low sanity, right? How else are you supposed to get that last little thingy? I don't know. But as I'm playing around with it, I got some new dialogue. I basically just shut the fuck down. Like, from the bar all the way to now when he's like trying to stab me with the knife in the first day, I just gave him nothing. I didn't talk to him. I didn't ask questions. I didn't scream. I didn't do anything. And he's a little mad. There was something different about his demeanor. Cece? The natural warmth I had gotten used to seemed to be seeping out of his words. I didn't answer him. You know, I really thought you'd be more fun than this. When I met you in the bar, I was so sure it was fate. You were so exciting on the outside. Again, he looked at me expectantly. I wasn't about to start giving him what he wants now. I looked him in the eyes and made it clear I wasn't going to respond. He slapped me across the face, hard. I reeled from the force and surprise, my ears ringing. After catching my breath, I sat up straight, silently. He leaned in close to me and reached behind me. I'll make you scream. The blade of a knife I never noticed slashed through the tape behind me. He backed away from me. I shifted my weight trying to get up. At the same time, he lifted my heel and slashed just behind it, severing the tendon. God damn. I couldn't help but crumple and bite down on a groan of pain. The knife plunged into my upper thigh. Cries of pain built up behind my teeth. He pulled my body underneath him with the knife lodged in my leg. I wanted to get to know you. He yanked the bloody knife from my thigh. I tried to push him away, but every attempt was viciously stopped with the knife. Still, I fought him with my bloodied arms desperately. But I guess I'll have to find out what's inside by... I screamed to the ceiling as he slammed the knife into my sternum and tore me open. Myself. Every expression of pain I refused came tearing out of my mouth now. He shoved his hand into my open gut roughly. My scream turned into a lurch from the feeling of foreign pressure suddenly inside me. Sickening, horrific pulling as he gripped the bloody stuff inside me and yanked it upwards. Looks like it's the same as everyone else. He laughed bitterly as my cries died in shock. Scream! No. My eyes rolled back as I choked on my own organs and my blood poured out on the floor. My body convulsed until I finally went still and silent. Yeah, well, get wrecked. Okay, so in playing around, something new has happened. This is the very last day. And I feel like I've been pretty on the fence with things. Like I've been trying to balance my personality, you know, like balancing the, like leaning into the crying and the screaming and then leaning into the getting the affection points and like leaning into liking him and then leaning into telling him to fuck off and fighting against him, and that's how we're here. Good morning, beautiful. Good morning. I flinched away from him. I caught my weight with my good hand on the ground. You untied me? That's right. I wanted to have a chat with you. I gulped and tried to wake my brain up to prepare myself for the inevitable torture. Outwardly, I simply nodded at him. Well, the truth is, I was planning to kill you today. I stayed perfectly still as I ran his words through my mind. Was? Well, I'm a very curious person. I have to know how people work. I am, obsessed. And I've pulled quite a few people apart trying to find out exactly how they work. I usually find out. People can be so simple. But you are not simple. I thought you were pretty serious at first, but then you made me laugh. That told me that there was more to you. Something a bit more complicated. On top of that, you were so afraid and gentle. Until you tried to attack me. That was such a surprise. I was so excited. I love many complicated things about you. So you understand I can't kill you yet. I want to keep you around. I could hardly understand what I was hearing. Is this some kind of trick? Anyway, having you on the floor down here won't work anymore. You need food and a bath. So, I have an offer for you. I nodded again, slowly, trying not to show how desperate I was for the comfort he promised. I've built another collar. It's like Ren's. Fuck, I don't think I even know who Ren is in this run. I didn't even meet him. But fuck! Ren is my other housemate. You'll meet him soon. Maybe you will become friends. I tried to smile and nod encouragingly, but I'm sure my fear still showed all over my face. He laughed warmly. I was sure now that he could read my emotions like a book. Then he picked up a thick metal collar. This collar will shock you and kill you if you try to leave the house. I will also shock you if you make any trouble. Do you understand? Why is there locked things? How do you get the locked things? Ugh! Well, what if I say no? Then I'll kill you. Right now. I knew that's what he was going to say, but it still felt like a cinder block pulling me under a river. I looked down at my broken body. I can't fight him anymore. And I can't just die. Okay. My voice wavered and cracked. I'll do it. Good. He reached out and clicked the collar closed around my neck. Maybe you will learn to love it. It felt heavy and cold. I look forward to our time together for the rest of your life. I lived! Yay! Turns out it had nothing to do with your sanity at all. You just had to really, really fucking hate him. And then also have the knife and the zip ties. Let's torture this little freezer burnt bitch. I raked the blade of the knife up to his face, watching his reaction. He didn't scream or cry, but he definitely shook and breathed harder. How many people did you do this to, I wonder? He clenched his jaw, then answered. Plenty. So you know you deserve this. This time it was him laughing, but it wasn't a laugh I'd heard before. It was dry and bitter. Sure, if you believe in deserving. I slammed the knife through his bicep. Achievement unlocked. Your turn, bitch! This time he screamed, and I relished it. I watched his body sweat and his wrist tug again and again against the sharp plastic. I kept my grip on the knife. All right, we're gonna do both, but first we're gonna ask him what he meant. The fuck are you talking about? Huh? Believing in deserving. Oh, deserving is made up. People say deserving and karma, justice. But it's all imaginary. I moved the knife slightly and watched him groan in pain. But it didn't stop him from continuing. People want things to be fair so badly, but it's just random chaos. Justice isn't real. Is that so? I twisted the knife and tore his flesh apart. Justice is real if I make it real. I was interrupted by a light flashing on the other side of the room. I looked towards the light and saw his computer had woken up. A little pop-up read, "Upload complete." What's this? Why don't you watch it and find out? Is it videos of him torturing me? I searched the screen, trying not to get lost in the multiple windows full of file lists and code. I saw a video file on the desktop. Feb Anna gutting. That's it. I ground my teeth. It didn't take a rocket scientist to guess what was in this file. I thought about ignoring him and leaving it, but then I got a better idea. Okay, Strade. Let's watch it. I clicked the file and the video started. I instantly recognized the basement, but in my usual spot, there was someone else. It was a woman. She had dark hair and a softer build. Like me, she was in nothing but underwear. But the details I noticed the most were her injuries. Fresh stitches and bloody bandages adorned her. One bandage over half her face, covering what I can only assume was a missing eye. She was shaking and crying and begging to be let go. I gulped and almost turned away. No, she's already dead, and I am going to watch this. I gripped the hilt of my knife as if to choke it. This can be for her as much as it is for me. Strade walked confidently into the shot. He was wearing almost the same outfit, except this time a bulky mask covered his head. He spent some time showing off his captive. She was so pretty. Shut up. There. It was the moment in the video I was waiting for. Strade had taken out his knife and cut a shallow line across Anna's belly. I paused the video and turned to Strade. Too much for you, huh? I could feel myself grinning wildly at him. One step at a time, buddy. I pushed his arms out of my way and pointed my knife at his belly. Then, with great concentration, I started a shallow cut on him. He struggled and hissed in pain, but it was fairly easy to continue the cut. Once I was done, I admired my handiwork. Blood started to trickle from him in rivulets. He was quiet, confused. I went back to the computer and hit play. The Strade in the video was talking, but I wasn't listening. I was only watching. Waiting. Wait. No, wait! His voice was suddenly filled with panic. The real Strade was bargaining and begging behind me now. He must have figured out what I was doing. I ignored him as I watched. Strade pulled Anna's tongue out and held his knife up to it. Ren! Screams erupted all around me. Anna screamed in agony, the digital Strade screaming with her. Strade in the flesh screamed behind me as well, but it wasn't his usual bizarre echo of his victim's feelings. His scream was his own, for once. Strade lifted his bound legs and kicked at the wall before screaming for Ren again. I paused the video. Ren! Ren is not going to... I heard a bang at the door leading down the stairs. A click followed by fast, light footsteps made me freeze in place. Oh! Okay, so maybe lock... That's why. So if we lock the door, Ren can't come down, and then he can't interrupt us. But of course, this one time, I didn't fucking lock the door. Ren burst through the door. What the fuck? Kill Cece! You don't have to do anything. Just go back upstairs and this will be over. Ren, my fox, help me. A flash of teeth and claws. He tackled me to the ground before I even registered what happened. No! I searched frantically for my knife. The search was cut short as claws tore through my abdomen. He wasn't the person who helped me before. This was an animal. I screamed as he slashed through my flesh again. His hand shot out and clamped over my throat, cutting the scream short. I fought frantically, my mind screaming nothing but survival. Like prey. His claws sank into my neck as he tore into me with his other hand. He tore me open, spilling my blood and everything else. Soon all I could do was twitch on the floor as he tore my body apart. Fuck you, Ren. That was your chance. That was your moment. We could have absconded. I'm locking the goddamn door this time. Get wrecked, Ren. Fuck off. Oh, I'm gonna fucking electrocute him so hard. Yeah, that's right, Ren. Can't come through the door when I fucking locked it, you idiot. I heard it bang a few more times. I chuckled and turned to Strade. Ren's not coming. I locked the door. Realization and terror crept into Strade's face, and it filled me with excitement. I got into position over him. Then I shoved my knife into his mouth to force it open. Yeah, just like you did to me, you little shit. Grabbing his tongue was difficult, but I didn't mind the challenge. I finally pinched it hard enough to pull it past his teeth. By now his panic fell from his mouth in wordless noises. Just like Anna. I positioned the blade and slashed it through. A wet scream filled the basement and blood flowed from his mouth. His dead tongue dangled between my fingers and I wondered to myself, that was so easy. I thought I'd be squeamish. I expected something inside me to fight this, but there was nothing. He wailed pathetically as blood spurted between his lips and stained his teeth red. I'd better hurry up if I want to finish this. He's losing a lot of blood. I left him to his choking and went back to the computer. Once again, the video took motion. Video Strade, healthy and whole, held up his piece of tongue for the camera. I scoffed. Mine was already discarded on the floor. He took his time playing around with Anna. Tears streaked down her face, and after squinting a bit, I could see tears running down his neck, too. I felt my mouth twist in disgust. What the hell was wrong with him? I started to feel impatient. A tiny voice in the back of my head wondered if that was what I should be feeling. I ignored it and devoted my full attention to my task. Finally, Video Strade made his next move. He returned to the shallow cut on Anna's belly. He suddenly plunged the knife inside her gut. Then he pulled it along the already bleeding line, like it was a guide. I ignored the audio and her face. I blocked it out and focused my attention like a laser. I watched the motion of his hands. I watched the path the blade took through her flesh. As her struggling weakened, he plunged his thick fingers into the bleeding opening and pulled a slimy mess of intestines from inside her. My own stomach threatened to flip, but I pushed the sensation down. Clenching my jaw, I continued watching, cataloging his motions exactly. A whimper, followed by wet drips behind me, reminded me of my focus. I expected him to finish with her, but he moved again. He used his knife to saw up a handful of internal organs from her. Then he held her by the hair and shoved the bloody mass into her mouth. Jesus Christ. Good night. She wasn't struggling anymore. He kept fumbling with the flesh in her mouth, but at that point, it was clear she was passing out. It was over. I closed the video. Then I turned back to Strade, still alive and struggling on the couch. Well, Strade. I approached him until I was looming over his belly. You know what comes next, don't you? A gurgling scream was plenty confirmation for me. I played the video in my mind and followed along. I plunged the knife in, just as he did. His screaming continued as I followed the line of blood and cut him open. I leaned down. Do you remember the next part? He coughed, yelled, and shook his head vigorously. Knowing that he would never say another word without his tongue was satisfying. I shoved my finger inside him just as he had done. I was shocked at how hot he was inside. Everything was wet, warm, and moving. I couldn't help but laugh. I knew I sounded a little insane, but I didn't care. I grasped a handful of his guts and pulled them out slowly. For a moment, I was worried I wasn't grabbing the right organs. I had no idea what he grabbed or what was in my hand, but I suppose that detail wouldn't matter as much. The mass threatened to slip from my fingers. I had to grab harder to pull it out. It seemed to try and retreat back inside of him. With a hunk of slimy intestine pulled out far enough to cut, I finally got back to work. I sawed through the mass until I was left with a piece the right size for his mouth. I looked up at him and saw he was awake, but his eyes were glossing over. We're not done yet. Open wide. I smashed his innards into his mouth with great relish. He tried to turn his head, but I gripped a handful of his hair and slammed it backwards. His mouth opened wide, and I shoved the grisly mass inside. I kept my hand over his twitching mouth and watched him struggle to breathe. By now, we were both covered in his blood. All the heat, screams, moans, and blood began to fade. His pulse slowed under my fingertips, and then it stopped. I took in a deep breath. I hadn't realized I'd been holding it. I slowly straightened up and looked down at his corpse. The quiet hum of his computer was the only sound left. After a moment of thought, I spat on him. See you in hell, you piece of shit. The next moments were spent searching the room and easily finding his keys nearby. I took him to the door of the basement, unlatched the lock on my side, and eventually unlocked the door fully. I emerged into a nauseatingly normal suburban home. I looked and listened for the human fox, Wren. But there was nothing. I assumed he heard what I had done. Maybe he's scared. I scoffed. Well, it's his house now, I guess. I found the door outside, and with no resistance at all, I opened it, and I stepped outside into the cool night air. I wiped the blood off my hands and started limping down the street. Yeah. Well, it's the same ending, but a little more satisfying. So I told him that Ren was down here the first night. I mean, I didn't say Ren came down here, but I was like, hey, some dude was looking at me, and he was like, that's weird, let me go handle that, I guess. And this is the second night, and Ren is back down in the basement, but then the door opened. So I feel like Strade was waiting for him to come down again, to catch him in the act. You know what I mean? The door to the basement opened a moment too soon. Ren backed away as heavy footsteps creaked down the stairs. I had a feeling you were sneaking down here. Uh-oh. Ren's demeanor changed entirely. Strade, I'm sorry. Alright, so I guess we'll just go through the first two and then the last one and see what happens. The way I usually play these games. It's not his fault. It was my fault. Strade turned his attention to me. I was making noise, and he was just making sure I was still tied up. Really? I didn't know you were so eager to help, Ren. Oh, I have an idea. Why don't you have a go with Cece? He's gonna kill me. What? No, I can't. No? Wait. Sorry. Strade opened a drawer and retrieved a handful of zip ties. Then he moved behind me and approached my wrist to the pole. Let's get you off of here. So I can attack. I'm gonna do it. I have to take matters into my own hands. As Strade bent over me, I slipped my hand out of the loosened tape and grabbed the knife. Adrenaline surged into my body. Now! My blade sank into flesh. He staggered away from me. My animal instinct screamed in success, but my mind caught up a split second later, noticing that I hadn't hit anything vital. Ren! He tore the knife from Strade's shoulder and held it up to his neck. Kill him! He'll kill us! Ren! Ren. Ren! A single moment stretched out before me. I swear I could hear both of them breathing. Then Strade's hand twitched towards his pocket. In the next moment, his throat was slashed open. We both watched as Strade struggled helplessly, then slumped to the floor. Blood dripped from the knife as the reality of the situation sank into our psyches. You did it. Ren, we're free! Relief washed over me in waves. We can leave now. And go where? What? You can come with me. Out there, with no money, hiding my tail. Ren, we can... With what I am now, he's the only one. He's dead. You motherfucker. I take back everything. I hate you. Even in this game, I fucking hate you. You made me kill him. Wait, you did this. You fucked everything up. I got us free, you little shit. He lunged at me so quickly I couldn't even move. No, Ren, please, just... I should have let him kill you. He pressed the edge of the knife to my neck. My body froze. The knife slashed through my neck. I grasped uselessly at the severed halves of my throat and sank to the floor. I heard a scream like nothing I've ever heard. Yeah, I led him to bloody freedom, but what about mine? What about my freedom? Right, fuck it. It's all his fault. I was just sleeping. I didn't do anything. Kill him. He came down here and tried messing with me. Is that so? That doesn't sound much like Ren. Were you messing with Cece? No, of course I wasn't. Cece is lying. Really? You haven't been much of a fighter so far. And now that fresh meat is on the table, you've become a butcher, eh? Throwing poor Ren into traffic. I'm a little surprised at you. I bet that makes you pretty angry, eh, Ren? Oh, I have an idea. Why don't you have a go with Cece? Okay, and then it's just, Ren? I pleaded desperately, but he wouldn't look me in the eye. Strade removed the loose tape around my wrists. He clicked his tongue and I started to sweat. This tape was barely on there. Ren? I didn't do anything. I just got down here. Mm-hmm. Before I could do or say anything, he pulled me by the wrist onto the floor. Then he smashed my wrists together and fastened them with a tie over my head. Oh, wow. What is that? He grabbed the knife that was revealed by my change in position. How long have you had this? He discarded the knife and chuckled down at me. I'll have to be a lot more careful. But for now... Ren? Strade gestured to my helpless body on the floor. Go ahead. Ren sighed and approached me. Come on, don't act so shy. I gasped as Strade knelt down and yanked my underwear off in front of him. That's not what he meant, was it? This isn't what he meant. He meant torture, not... Oh, good... Oh. I've seen you at the videos. I expected Ren to argue, protest, anything. But he didn't. He knelt in front of me and... Oh, I hate him. I take it all back. He is not just a little guy. He is a fucking asshole. He's an asshole. Asshole man. Asshole thing. And I fucking hate his guts. Oh, I want to stab him in his face. Ren! Just shut up. His voice was flat and defeated. I tried to struggle, but Strade held me tight. Somehow, I'm even angrier that he's doing this than I was when Strade did it. I defended you, you little shit. And this is how you repay me? Fucking asshole. Cece doesn't look so good. Yeah, well, there was a part in there where it said Strade had done so much worse, but this just felt wrong. And I'm like, yeah, somehow this coming from him was 10 times worse than anything that this fucker has done, because this fucker came in, you knew what you were getting into. You know what you get with him. But Ren is in the exact same position that we are, and he still pulled this shit. I saved his ass. I got his ass out of here. He killed Strade, and then what did he do? He came and killed me. For his own choices. I'm not the one who pulled the knife across Strade's throat. He is. And yet, there we were. Dead. Ren, go back upstairs. The shorter man wasted no time obeying. I couldn't think anymore. Everything went dark. Is he gonna light me on fire? When I woke up, the lights were on. I don't know how long I'd passed out for, but I didn't feel rested at all. I felt myself twitching. My skin was crawling. The constant pain and lack of sleep was overwhelming me. I twisted my body. What's wrong, buddy? Fuck off. I couldn't seem to control myself. I ground my teeth together. The noise in my head and the pain. Always the pain. Okay, then we just die. Okay, awesome. I loved that for myself. Okay, we're gonna stay out of it. I keep my head down, trying to avoid attracting Strade's attention. It's okay. I understand. Cece is so cute. I don't want to stay away either. Right? I guess. And it might be my fault too. I've been neglecting you. No, I have. And I know how frustrated you can get. Oh, I have an idea. And then he just makes me do it anyways. We're not gonna let it play out like that. I'm gonna fucking stab Strade. At least he'll go down with me. Fuck you, Strade. Got an achievement. And this situation got so much worse. Can't stay out of it if you're going to do that. You sure can. You can make all of this stop. You don't have to do any of this. And yet, here we fucking are. Son of a bitch, another fucking jump scare. God! And they just left. They did that. And just fucked right off. Alright, cool. And I die anyway. Oh no. Oh. Got another achievement. I tried to kill him, but his heart was in the red. So I just wanted to see what happened when it ran out. And he pulled me onto the couch. He suddenly yanked my wrist towards the couch, causing me to topple on top of him. In the next moment, I was squeezed between his body and the back of the couch, held in his arms. So, how did you manage this? I was so baffled by my new position that I didn't understand what he meant at first. But of course, he was asking how I escaped the pole. I cut the tape with the knife. And how did you get a knife? The warmth and smell of sleep washed over me. I had almost forgotten what softness felt like. Cece? I got the knife earlier and saved it. I was just scared. I wasn't... He squeezed me and chuckled. Clever. My brain was screaming alarm signals, but my nerves and muscles were melting against him. His hands ran along my back, massaging me. You're so strange. Hard enough to survive this long, but too soft to kill me. I felt his laugh rumble through his whole body. So cute, though. I felt my cheeks get hot. Without warning, he shifted his weight and pulled me under him. I want to see you squirm, and he means he's gonna fucking kill me. I'm gonna die on this couch. My muscles went rigid. I was suddenly aware of just how trapped I was between the couch and his body. I want to hear how you sound, too. My heart started pounding. By now, I knew exactly what he meant. I wasn't sure I was going to survive this time. I'm not. Yeah, no, definitely not. Okay. Okay. What is happening? I didn't have the energy to be confused anymore. Girl, same. But for entirely different reasons. I just let myself sink into him. Despite the warning bells in my head, I started to doze. The warmth and comfort was too much. A different darkness closed around me like a blanket. I guess I can't let you sleep here. That would be, irresponsible. He got up lazily and pulled me to my shaking feet beside him. Come on. He pulled me into the main basement with a pointed glance at the pole. A whimper fell out of my lips before I could stop it. I surprised myself with how much I wanted to just stay with him. Somewhere soft. Don't be like that. I nodded. I knew the position I was in, the mercy he was showing. I obediently sat down in front of the pole. Then I put my arms behind me, ready to be bound. There's a good pet. Oh my God. Am I gonna die? Can I just die now? If I could ever be on that couch with him again. Probably not. We're gonna die. Good night. Okay. Oh shit, is he gonna give me... Oh shit, he's putting the collar on me. Oh. Okay, I thought we were gonna get lit on fire or something. I do. I grinned awkwardly. Oh, yes. Till death do we part. Hopefully yours and not mine. Thanks, I hated it. Oh God, there's still so many achievements to get. Like this one. I haven't died that many times yet. Yet? I got Ren to help me. Instead of attacking me like a little shitball. I don't know why. I thought I did the same fucking choices this time that I did last time, but I guess not. Run. But get out of here. His body was twitching. Suddenly my knife didn't feel so comforting. Don't let Cece get out. Kill. Run! My body reacted before my mind could. I flew out of the dark room. I ran up the stairs, ignoring my injuries. I heard them below, but I didn't stop. I pushed the door at the top of the stairs open and emerged into an alien world. A suburban home so normal it was like a dream. I easily spotted the entrance and ran to it. I flung it open and ran into the street. For a split second, I thought about Ren. And then I kept running. Are my hands clean? Are they? I mean, I didn't kill him, but I was fully intending to, and I did stab him and cut him up a little bit. So I wonder if this one is when he does the horrible thing, but my health is too low, and he accidentally kills me. I think that's what I'm going to try for. Yep. Yeah, my health was so low. And then we got to this point, and then he accidentally killed me. Little fucker. Wait, I didn't do that, did I? The voices continued, but I couldn't understand the words anymore. Yeah, you did. Cece? I thought I heard 2 sets of footsteps. I expected another swell in the cacophony of pain, but it didn't come. I heard them talking, but I couldn't make out the words through the static. Strade sounded angry. Ren was scared. Their voices seemed to blend together. Then I left all the noise behind. Ren's little oopsie. Just an oopsie. Just a little oops. Okay, so I'm still playing around trying to get all the achievements. And in this one, I fell down the stairs. So I went up to go fight him, but I didn't have the knife. And I fell down the stairs and I broke my leg. And then when I went to sleep, this popped up. I woke up and tried to blink my grogginess away. Vertigo twisted my senses as I realized I was standing. Surrounding me in all directions was an immutable and pervasive gray. Somehow it was oppressive and solid, not the simple absence of color. It pressed upon me thick and unyielding. Well, doesn't this sound familiar? Like gravity, it beckoned me down, back to sleep. When I lowered my gaze, I was surprised to see water. Water in every direction as far as I could see. Are we going to see Lawrence now? Yet it flowed. It wasn't still. My eyelids fluttered. Yep. There he is. You aren't supposed to be here yet. I gasped as I was suddenly pulled beneath the surface. Well, god damn it. After getting all 21 endings and getting every achievement save for one, it is now time to meme. Arguably my favorite part of Price of Flesh, and will undoubtedly be my favorite part of You Kill Me Every Time. Anyways, stay safe out there. Don't trust foxes. They're fucking assholes every time. And I will see you later.